basketball. You betcha, I'm back. It's the Daily Trainer, and I'm here to give you a quick pregame shooting routine for your season, and just maybe even before practice if that's when you want to do it. So, got my man P and my man Spence in the building. We're working on stepping in to the three right away at the wing, and what we want to focus on here is different variations of it, right? So you're stepping in where your feet are shuffling, and then you're also working on leaving one foot planted and then having the other one available and then stepping into the shot that way as well. It is important to work different footwork when you're shooting, because if you only work a certain type of footwork every single shot that you shoot, guess what happens when you're being chased around in the game? Inconsistency. That's right. You're going to miss. You're going to miss a lot of shots that you normally don't in a workout, and you're going to wonder why. It's mainly because there's so many variables in shooting. You got to put all those variables into play when you're doing it routinely and getting the reps. And so now what we move to is more of a pin down situation, or even him popping out on the high post, or him just maybe setting a screen and then popping out that way. So Parker being just a bigger player, it makes it easier for him to slip out to the perimeter to make shots. And a lot of people don't think bigs can shoot. Well, he's technically not a big. He's a wing, but being the taller player on his team, he is put in the post many different times, but is also given an opportunity to play off the wing occasionally. So just want to continue to work his footwork, try to get him in the right motion when he is offset or he's off balance or his shoulders aren't square to the rim, still giving him the opportunity to figure out how to do that, almost like a game setting. And yes, he's not being guarded, and it is much easier to make shots when you're not being guarded. But majority of the time when watching film, he's pretty open. So I just want him to knock shots down first. Then we'll get out the pad and we'll get a person to chase him and all that good stuff. And you'll see that on here too. I'm probably going to be the person chasing while the players pass. So I typically know what I want to see in that game scenario. So I kind of give them the action that I'm looking for on that. And then we just slide down. You know, you're waiting for that ball to come around on that extra pass, and you want to just be spaced enough so you kind of move away from the pass just a little bit to create that space. And then in that, you can shot fake, go the other way, you can rip through, all those different things when it comes to shooting. Now, Spence is the next player up shooting, and you've seen Spence shoot on here before. He's going to basically run right into the same routine for shooting. So you get to see two variations of shooters and what they do in the same drill. So that's why I like this, and that's why I'm showing you both instead of going to the next thing. Who's more consistent? Why are they more consistent? Why is Spence coming down further than P was? And basically, you know, in transition, what's going to happen typically for Spencer is he's going to be running full speed, and someone is going to give it to him when he's least expected. So I want him to run down sometimes into the shot to where his feet aren't set and he's almost not ready to shoot, so that he can prepare for that and work on that now before it's time to get ready. And then we have our pin down. He's not in the same situation as P would be, but I have him running a little bit shorter distance just to conserve energy. As long as he's working the footwork, that's okay. What they tend to do is they turn a little early, which is okay, but they are taking the speed away of getting away from the defender. So that is something I definitely have corrected and will continue to correct, because it's about getting away and getting that clean look at the basket and not someone chasing you and trying to run you off the three. So still continuing to work on the little details that are going to get them the open look. And as you can see with the open look, Spencer is money. And so that's what we're working on, is being money from downtown. Now on this side of things, We continue on the same side, and now we're working at corner 3. Both of these players are in the corner a lot, so I definitely want to see them in a stationary role, knocking that shot down, because that is the shot they're going to get off the swings, off the skips. They're going to be wide open off the driving kicks. So all of those things are going to be wide open for them, because the players they play with, very ball dominant as far as when they go to attack. And so the time they do give it up, they'll be ready to shoot. Sometimes I hold the ball a little longer than expected, and then I pass it. Sometimes I kind of throw it with not a lot of force. Sometimes I throw it high, sometimes I throw it low. It just depends on the day, just like a game, right? It's never going to be perfect every time. P has a really good shot for how big he is. And again, looking at his full extension, looking at his follow through, what are the things that you see when my head is actually not in the way? What do you see the consistency of his makes, and then what do you see and when he misses? Again, you can learn from someone else and see if you make the same mistakes, because most of us in basketball do make similar mistakes. So you just have to be aware of it. Sometimes you don't see it in yourself, but see it in someone else, and that will fix your shot. Do you agree? Go ahead and let me know in the comments if you do. And then what I also want to see in the comments is, if you can help fix this person's shot, by all means, please give your suggestions. Definitely love to hear them. You never know. You could change his shot to where he never misses again, and that will take him pretty far, especially at that height. Now, another thing that I always harp on with all of my players is, as well as you can shoot standing still, you have to be able to shoot decent moving. And a player I had last year definitely was a great standstill shooter, but we had a very long process in getting him to make shots on the move, and he did towards the middle of conference and then the end of the season. So sometimes it does take that long, especially when you have practices and you're not able to get in that extra time like you would like to. Shout out to the machine, the company who makes that is great, and it continues to help players be consistent where I am. We're definitely going to get one in this facility, so can't wait for that, because I'm just going to be able to get players way more shots than we're getting right now, even though we do make time very efficient with the work that we're doing in here. So again, I think another important movement is we're not always sliding laterally. Sometimes we have to turn and sprint to come get the basketball. And I think that is another footwork aspect that, P can work on, as well as Spence. And like I said, it's not just moving, it's how you're moving and what is the purpose of your movement. And not only catching and shooting it, but are you having the proper footwork to either realign yourself to shoot another shot, or to even counter, right? To counter out of that movement and still stay on the 3-point line and make shots. So it's just, like I said, there's a lot of variables when it comes to shooting, and it's just something to think about when you are a shooter or labeled as one. All my guys, I think, can put it on the ground, not as much as they should be able to, but in an effective way of a 1-dribble, 2-dribble pull-up, which I think is college-bound basketball. If you watch some highlights of some people that don't get the ball as much, that's basically what they're taking, and that's what you have to do and use to be successful in your role, because these guys right now aren't superstars on their teams, they're role players. And in order to fill the void of your role, you have to be successful in that small thing that you have to do. And for these guys, it's shooting. And for P, it would be defense, changing shots, rebounding, and running the basketball floor. Spencer would be defense and running the floor as well. But really, it's going to be his shooting that's going to propel the team to victory. He's kind of in the same situation I explained with Cole. But this is the pregame shooting routine. You could do this on both sides. You can do something from the top as well. But again, if you're playing that off the ball, unless you're doing zipper cuts, you're not going to be shooting too many shots at the top. unless you're, replacing somebody and it's getting swung up to the top to you. All right. Well, that's it for me. Basketball, you know the deal. Someone's always working. Are you?